the 8th of March, and it is International Women's Day. March also is a month where we get to celebrate and commemorate the different roles that women play, being Women's Month. And this episode is dedicated to International Women's Day as well as Women's Month. And the upcoming episodes throughout the month of March will be celebrating this particular month. And today we are looking at an issue that we often don't discuss, the issue of infanticide. It's committed by women, killing that baby that we would have left. Helping us to dissect that issue, we have Dr. Rita Nyampinga. She is the director with the Female Prisoner Support Trust. We also have Ethel Mpezeni on the program. She's well known as Chembere Good, and would want really to hear from her from an African cultural perspective. How does it impact an individual after killing a baby? And as usual, I've got my co-host Alice. Over to you.
It's a special month indeed where we celebrate women, and I'm so excited about this episode. I actually want to learn as well.
When you're talking about infanticide, what exactly are we talking about?
Thank you very much, Tariro, for giving me this opportunity to celebrate International Women's Day, Women's Month. And yes, we really celebrate this month. But there are issues that are to do with women in this month that at times we don't talk about. But we really want to talk about them in this month because it's a special month for women. And especially looking at young women who at times are caught on the wrong side of the law due to various issues that they are not able to talk about in the open, but they really need advice. Infanticide is a serious issue which I can equate to murder because it's a woman, a young woman, giving birth to a baby, and after giving birth, maybe instantly you kill the baby, or you keep the baby up to about 3 months, 6 months, depending. Then you kill that baby because you don't want the baby because of issues that you have with yourself, or you have with your family, or you have with the father of the child. So you think the best is to get rid of the child so that you don't have a problem with yourself. You remain who you want to be. And maybe to a certain extent, mental health issues come into play because we don't want to take away that from I can say from the victim. It can be a survivor of gender-based violence or a rape victim. So you think if I get rid of this child, then I'm free from that problem. That's how I can describe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chembere Good, coming to you. You also work with young girls. Have you witnessed cases that Dr. Nyampinga is talking about?
Yes, unfortunately, it does happen, especially with teen mothers. Like the doctor has said, it depends with what is surrounding that girl, the young mother, because some of these things, they don't do them because they want to, but sometimes they want to forget the situation that brought about that child, the way it came about. So it's rather a very psychological issue. It's more psychological and emotional than anything.
Yeah.
In the event that a girl is raped, they don't get the the services like treatment or abortion from the clinics, then they end up having this child. This child reminds them of the rape they went through, the pain, the trauma, and they decide to kill this child. What is your response to that?
My response to that is that we don't have abortion laws that they are there, but there are so many conditions for one to have an abortion. They really want to look the case, has it been taken to court, and what has the court said, and by so doing, the pregnancy will be growing or maturing or whatever will be due by the time the case is concluded. Maybe it's on the 7th month or it's on the 4th month, and it's dangerous to carry an abortion at that stage. So you end up having a child that you don't want to have. I'm taking in point the case that came out last week in the paper, in the newspapers, of a girl who was raped, and when she was raped, she might have concealed the pregnancy, or she didn't go to court, or it wasn't reported. And when she had the child, she had to kill that child because she doesn't want the child.
Is it okay? Is it justifiable?
It's not justifiable. This is why I'm saying that the laws should be put in place, and we should have a lot of advocacy towards that. Because if we don't have the advocacy with Chembere Guru, we don't have this platform where we advocate for laws that support that. We continue having these young women being sent to prisons.
But in the event of lawful abortion, it's okay, right?
Yes, in the event of lawful abortion, it is okay.
Okay. All right. We will continue with our discussion after the break. When we return, we want to find out from Dr. Nyamupinga what is happening, particularly with these girls when they go to the courts, the sentences that they are receiving. We want to go deeper into those issues. Stay with us. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion. Maybe, Chembe, good before we proceed, taking on from the issue that Alice was talking about, where she was asking the doctor in terms of, is there an existing law when somebody has been raped? What is your own opinion on that?
I would really wish the government would put into place a law that would allow the choice of abortion to be made.
Isn't the law there though?
It is
But
there, but
it's
it's like it's packaged in a way whereby, like she was explaining, by the time they are done at the court, the pregnancy is already mature. So she's still going to have that child. She was not given a choice to want to keep it or not.
Dr. Nyampinga, let's go now on the ground to look at the issues, the cases, the number of girls who are committing infanticide, what's happening at the courts, girls being sentenced. And I'm sure it's not just girls, because we would also read in the newspapers, even adult women who are also committing the same crime.
Yes, the cases are rising, especially in the past 2 years. We've seen quite a big number of young girls, even older women, due to COVID-19. So many cases have come up of abortions, unwanted pregnancies. You can check in the papers. Every week we have a woman, one or two, in the courts across the country, in the 10 provinces. You see a woman going to court for either abortion, baby dumping, infanticide. These cases are rising with the pandemic itself. there hasn't been a lot of activity outside, and all the activity is indoors. So this is why we have seen this escalating or exacerbation of infanticide, something that had gone down in the past years, because looking at it right now, and comparing it to the previous years, it had gone down because we have had organizations like Women Action Group going around talking about sexual reproductive health and rights to young girls, even to women. It has been working very well, but with the closed down, lockdowns, there isn't much information that was going on, and we were all depending on social media. In social media, how many young girls or women, we are speaking of the Women's Month, who can access, who can buy bundles to get information, because all the NGOs who were giving this information, the women's rights organizations who were giving this information, they were not working to full throttle. Even up to now, we are depending on online education, which some is out of reach for the ordinary woman. Yes. So it really makes the woman's life very, very difficult. When we look at the pandemic and what it has caused, GBV, escalating numbers of GBV, these teen pregnancies, incest as well, because these young people are stuck at home and the mother and father are not there. They've gone out, and they leave these children alone at home. And we've heard of incest relationships that are taking place, a brother and a sister. I think Chembere Gudu can attest to that. She can really give her own experiences, because these are things that are happening in our society, and it's really heartbreaking. So we really need to talk about these things. But what really breaks my heart is that when a young girl is taken to court, no one has ever taken the boy child to court to say you have impregnated this girl. You have a case to answer. No one is challenged the boy child. It's the girl child who is at the end of the justice system to say you have committed a crime, and the boy goes scot-free. Even in our education system, yes, we advocate for girl child going back to school even when she falls pregnant and she gives birth, but the boy child continues. The girl child, 9 months, after 9 months, she goes on breastfeeding and what, but this boy already, his year is passed by, and that's the end of it. He goes scot-free. So
what are the sentences that the girls are getting?
It depends case by case, and the severity of the matter.
But severity is made.
The severity is made. Maybe we can say circumstances surrounding. Because I tell you, last week or 2 weeks ago, the shortest ever sentence was a few seconds.
Oh, the one in Mashingo.
The one in Mashingo by Magistrate Mawadzi, because of the circumstances surrounding the case. So it's case by case. It can be.
It was how long?
It can be.
The Mashingo.
The Mashingo was few seconds.
It was like 15 seconds or so.
15 seconds.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
A few seconds. And it's traumatic. Even after you've been given that sentence, the court process alone, going into the dock for murder, is traumatic. We can say it's infanticide, but
reality is
murder.
But Doc, you raised a very good point. on how the boy child is left going about free, but the girl child is always the one to blame. Let's take, for instance, in our society, I get pregnant and I want to abort because I want to pursue my career or my education. Then society says, no, don't abort. The government says, no, don't abort.
We will have the doctor to answer that after this short break. It's time for us to take a short breather. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the third and last segment of the talk. Today, joined with Dr. and Chembere Good, we are discussing on infanticide. So, Doctor, I was asking, how best can the government help the girl child to have the same privileges as the boy child?
I think the platforms should be there where they bring in the girl child, the pregnant girl child, and the father of that child.
Yeah.
So that they speak about their life because they now are responsible for the child that is going to be born.
The child they created together.
The child they created together.
Yes.
Those spaces should be created.
Mm-hmm.
Even by Chembere Good,
Mm-hmm.
can create that platform to bring these two together so that we know what they are thinking about the family, the new family that is coming up.
Now let's say the boy child says no.
If the boy child says no, then
Are we going to allow the girl child to also say no?
the girl child cannot say no because already she's carrying the baby.
So the girl child is at a disadvantage.
A very disadvantage.
There must be a solution to this.
There must be a solution.
That is why now we were saying the government needs to put into place a law that will give that girl child a chance to be given.
To make their own
Yes,
decision.
to have a decision to say, no, I am not yet ready. I can't have this child, whether it's by rape or she's just not yet ready to become a mother. She wants to continue with her education or fulfill her career. You know, a decision should be given to someone, and someone must be given the chance and say, this is what I want to do.
And
it mustn't be by force to say, no, just because you are carrying a human being, you have to carry full term.
do we have schools that are taking pregnant teens? If any of you have...
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, all schools.
All schools?
All schools.
But have we seen any of the
Yes, we have seen.
pregnant girls going to school?
Yes.
I haven't.
You know what happens now we in our society, at school, a girl comes to school pregnant. What happens to the other girls? They will be laughing at her
Yeah.
that she committed whatever.
Loose morals and all.
Yes, she's of loose morals,
Lots of
she's
stigma.
stigmatized. So, yeah, the environment, yes,
It's not as good.
would push that girl to stay at home instead of coming to school. But after giving birth,
They can go back.
they can go back to school.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's look at the cultural aspect in terms of, we've got Chivanu Chedu, where we then say, you've murdered a child. It's infanticide, but you've murdered a child. What are the cultural implications of that? And what needs to be done in such circumstances?
Ukatouraya kamunhu itori ngozi mumusha inotozoda kuripwa. Saka kana wabvisa nhumbu kana kuti waita infanticide iyoyi, kazhinji kuchivanhu anofanira kucleanswa mwana iyeye, because ndopaya pamunoona vamwe vasikana vanozodzoka achiti ndikurota mwana wangu, kana kuti ndine mwana wandinonzwa achichema, ndikangoti ndiise musoro pasi kuti ndirare. Those are spiritual things that happen in our life as Africans. Saka akasatocleanswa haatondowana peace mukurarama kwake, nekuti that baby will haunt him.
Even abortion.
Yes.
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 Doctor, you agree with Chembere Good on that? Is it psychological, or definitely the cleansing has to be done?
It's more of psychological, but when we want to look at our culture, we say you mustn't spill any blood. So this is blood. Let's not run away from our culture, because we have to preserve our culture as well, so that we have these morals within us, so that as a people we respect, we have got limits on what to do and what not to do.
I'm in agreement with.
kuchivanhu kwedu ukatodaro unotozofanirwa kutoti usati wacheneswa kudaro unotokumbira ruregerero kuti wakatokanganisa, because watouraya, like she's saying, it's the spilling, you've spilled blood, so you have to atone for that.
I'm in agreement with the two of you, but I maybe I need more understanding. You should maybe shed more light. Abortion, ingozi.
Ingozi, yes, to a certain extent. Ngozi yekuuraya munhu ka handiti. Mwana uyu ka haasati angobuda chete, but it's life. Hantu katoenda kuna chiremba, when you go to the doctor and you are going for that sonogram, you actually hear that heartbeat. It's a human being, only that it's not yet fully developed. So it's a life that you are taking.
This is another discussion for another
Discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Yambina, how do we address maybe the challenges that push girls to commit infanticide?
One, we can say lack of sex education, sexual reproductive health rights. They are not in the know. They don't understand their anatomy. They don't understand their body and what their body wants. Number two can be what I've been talking about, through rape, through just wanting to discover who they are, peer pressure as
So
well.
how do we address those? For us to then say we are addressing the challenge of infanticide, we have actually run out of time, so it will be a matter of how best can we address that. And then Chembere Good would want your parting message as we commemorate.
Let's have a
International
discussion with our children as they grow. Once she has her first menses, we should be open to them. And once our boys break their voices, let's talk to them about these issues. Because if we keep them to ourselves, we are not doing any good. We will be faced with these challenges. And when we are faced with these challenges, we have no solution but to say to the child, can you please go away with your child, or go back to where you got this child from. Let's open discussion. Let's be free.
My final message is actually a plea to the government to say, may the law please be put into place about this issue, because the longer we take, the more of these issues that we are going to have and the more cases that are going to arise.
Thank you so much for watching the Talk with Tariro. Keep tuning in for more discussions where we discuss issues that affect our society.